Have you ever wanted to write a book and a newsletter? That's the question I'll be addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, the Publication Coach. I have a question from Jen Vermette, a writer based in Chicago, Illinois. Here's what she's asked via email. I know you wrote a book, congrats, while also writing frequent newsletters. I launched a newsletter myself and I'm trying to decide my cadence. How did you make sure that your newsletter helped you write a book rather than take time away from it? I know there's only so much time in the day and writing my book is my ultimate goal right now. Thanks for your question, Jen. Many people seem to think we have only a limited amount of time for writing every day. But finding time for writing is a bit like finding time for children. If you have a second child, it doesn't mean you won't have the time or the love for the first. Somehow we always adapt. I think the secret to making things work, for writing at least, is trying to identify which project is most important for you, even if the difference is very slight. This is because I'm going to suggest that you work on the most important project first. It's pretty clear for you that your book falls into that category. If that's the case, then try to identify some early morning time when you can work on it. When I wrote both of my books, I worked on them between 6 and 6:30 a.m. 5 days a week. Now, I'm a morning lark, so 6 a.m. was fine for me. If you're not, and that time of day doesn't feel comfortable for you, then don't do it at that time. Just find another time of day relatively early that will work for you. If you can write 300 words, the length of an email, in that time, 5 days a week, then by the end of a year, you'll have 78,000 words. That's more than enough for a book. Just make sure the time you choose is going to be relatively protected from others. That's why I like 6 a.m. No client meetings, and my phone doesn't usually ring. If that doesn't work for you, then try lunchtime. Can you go to a nearby cafe or library and work uninterrupted for 30 minutes? If so, that would be a great habit to build. But the bottom line was, I never saw my newsletter as something that was in competition with my book. Instead, I visualized them as complementary efforts that I pursued at different times of the day in support of each other. Sure, they were on the same subject, but that only helped me. The research I did for my newsletter could also be used for my book. In other words, I got a gigantic twofer. Also be aware that if you're looking for a conventional publisher, they will expect you to have a newsletter. They'll see it as a key part of your book marketing plan. Newsletters allow you to reach potential readers regularly and in a friendly way. The bigger your email distribution list, the more publishers you'll have who will be interested in working with you. I include a link below on the benefits of publishing newsletters. So, in a very real sense, the success of your newsletter will be intrinsically linked to the success of your book. I hope that makes you feel better about spending time on both of these projects. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from Greek-American businesswoman and author Arianna Huffington. We think mistakenly that success is the result of the amount of time we put in at work instead of the quality of time we put in. Jen, don't think of writing a newsletter as a task that takes writing time away from you. Instead, visualize it as something you choose to do. You can work on your book for 30 minutes a day and your newsletter on 1 to 2 hours per week. You will have time for both tasks. If you'd like to learn how to stop procrastinating and make writing a happier and more fulfilling task for yourself, take a look at my new book, Your Happy First Draft. It's not available in bookstores or via Amazon. The only place you can buy it is via my website, link below.